Oscar-winning director Peter Jackson owns and restores some of the rarest aircraft in the world. But whilst his team has plans on how to rebuild First World War planes, what they don't have is instructions on how to fly them.
We build these planes and we learn now what their flight characteristics are like. Because quite a few of the planes that we built are aircraft that there's no flying examples, or they haven't been in the air since 1919, 1920, 1921 was the last time quite a few of our planes ever flew. So suddenly now, after 100 years, we can have highly skilled pilots sit in these planes and fly them. So how these planes perform in flight, what the aerodynamics are, what the climb rate is like, what the power is like, all of that's new information. That's not necessarily, there's sort of anecdotal stuff from 100 years ago, but we're able to adopt a more scientific approach to it now. So.
We've now assembled a very fine collection of experienced pilots. We have airline pilots, ex-fighter pilots, I'm one, agricultural pilots, and it's a great combination of skills. But they're all modern pilots, so we have had to take each of these pilots back to the beginning, literally the beginnings of aviation, and start on what we would regard as a relatively easy aircraft, and they fly that and they get used to that. All of these aircraft are called tailwheel aircraft in the sense that they sit down on their tails. That's a configuration that you don't see in modern aircraft. So first they have to learn tailwheel skills, then they have to learn engine handling skills, and ultimately at the top end of the collection, where we have rotary engined aircraft where the engines spin around the crankshaft. That's an art in flying that vanished in about the mid-20s, and one of the wonderful things that our patron is trying to promote in this collection is recreating history and recreating the knowledge that existed between 1914 and 1918.
This is the FE-2B, built in 1915. It's one of the most difficult planes in the collection to fly. There are only two in the world that are airworthy, and Peter has both of them. The unusual thing about this aircraft is that it only has a seat for the pilot, as our camerawoman Hannah found out.
No, the gunner in the front cockpit doesn't even have a seat. So the gunner gets to stand up and operate both machine guns that you can see there. I've taken a few different passengers and they range from, oh, I'm just happy crouching down here, thank you very much, to launching themselves all around the aeroplane and having a real good look and a good play with the guns. It's a very early aircraft in the war, and it's quite a large aeroplane. So it's, a lot of the World War I airplanes that are around are the smaller fighters. So initially they were used as a fighter, later on as bombers, night bombers in fact. I flew them at night, which would have been fun.
So what's it like to be in a flying club with one of the most respected directors on the planet?
He's part of the crew. When Peter's here, he's just one of the guys, and I like having a look at his aeroplanes, and we're very lucky to be allowed to fly them.
He's extremely knowledgeable about all the various aeroplanes and the types of engines and things, so yeah, he's got a wealth of knowledge.
I think it's quite special to be flying Sir Peter's aircraft. But I think the overall impression is that you've been entrusted with this amazing piece of history, and whoever owns these aircraft or flies them, they're all just temporary caretakers, that's the guardians for this period of time.
It's nice to be able to help him with his vision of just keeping these historic aircraft flying, and the people around it. So yeah, no, we're very, very lucky to have such a mentor that has such a passion.
What would you like your legacy to be?
Well, I just want to, I want to do things that add a positive contribution to the world in one form or another. Whether people go to a movie I've made and have 2 hours of entertainment, or they go to an air show and they watch some of these planes fly, and just something that actually people get a little bit of education, but it's actually a positive thing. There's nothing negative about it. So I like the fact that hopefully whenever I fall off my perch, I'll have left behind a sort of a positive trail behind me.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.